Good morning and welcome to another episode of Talk of the County Podcast, brought to you by Traffic Safety Management Ltd, experts in traffic management, local depot in Gloucester, but support projects all around the UK. TSM keeps moving safely, day and night, offering local operatives great career prospects and social-driven company, but generally looks after its people and communities they serve. To find out more, visit www.tsmltd.co.uk. Good morning, gentlemen. We are back to a full house. Sean is back. We've got our full panelists
in body.
Don't know whether in mind. We'll find out as we go through. We got our Cheltenham Town panelist Chris Howe. Good morning, Chris.
My name's Chris Howes, but anyway,
I missed
good morning.
Yes, out to you. Chris Howes. Good morning, Chris.
Morning, mate.
We got our Forest Green Rovers panelist Sean Baker. Good morning, Sean.
Hey, boys, all right?
And we've got Gloucester City's Dave Jones. How are you doing, Dave?
Very well, thank you, sir.
You seem like we're all dressed in our Christmas jumpers today. This is a very festive podcast. We'll crack straight on with it. We'll go to Chris Howes for Around the Grounds. Over to you, Chris.
We are going to talk of the counties around the grounds by Chris Howes.
Cheers, Dan. Yeah, my doctor even gets my name wrong, so don't worry about it too much. Yeah, let's go around the ground, sponsored by BAM Recruitment. They find better matches than most managers in a January transfer window. Whether it's temporary or permanent, they put the right people in the right positions, engineering, construction, and operational. No VAR needed. Check them out below. We start with the ladies and Cheltenham Town, who were in Women's National League Premier Division South action away at Exeter City, where they ran out 4-0 winners with a hat-trick from Una Liu and one from Bella Hall. Cheltenham have now climbed to 5th in the table and are now not in action until January. Forest Green Rovers and Gloucester City were also in league action in the South West Regional Women's Football League. Forest Green were away at Frampton Rangers, and a Leilani Ryder goal and a double from Rian Robbins saw the Rovers run out 3-2 winners, while Gloucester was at home to Sherborne Town with Amanda Raymer on the score sheet for Gloucester, but it was not enough to prevent a 2-1 defeat. Forest Green sit 3rd in the league, while Gloucester are 9th. Both teams are at home today, with Gloucester hosting Pucklechurch Sports and Forest Green at home to Sherborne Town. In the Southern League Division 1 South, saw Hartpury's midweek game against Didcot Town postponed. Yesterday, Hartpury hosted Winchester City, where they played out a 0-0 draw. Bishop's Cleeve had no midweek fixture, and yesterday played out a 4-4 draw with Lark Hall Athletic, with Cleeve thinking they'd won it in the 92nd minute, only for Lark Hall to equalise in the 96th. On to the Hellenic Premier League division, where there were midweek county derbies between Longlevens and Slimbridge in the Challenge Trophy, where Finley Gwilym opened the scoring for Longlevens and Jay Wells making it 2-0 at half-time. Aaron Evans Harriet pulled one back for Slimbridge, but it was Longlevens who go through to the next round, winning 2-1. The other County Cup derby was postponed between Cinderford and Cheltenham Saracens. There was more cup action yesterday for Slimbridge, who this time got a 1-0 win over Amesbury Town in the FA Vase. Longlevens also in cup action, this time the Challenge Cup, where they lost on penalties to Mangotsfield Town. And also in the Challenge Cup, there was a county derby between Cheltenham Saracens of Division 1 and Fairford Town, where goals from Alfie Priestley, Tino Shumba and 2 from Daniel Grieve saw Fairford advance, winning 4-0. Finally, in the league, Lydney lost 4-3 away at Westfields, and another county derby, this one between Cirencester and Cinderford. Goals from Ben Vine and Ollie Taylor were not enough for Cinderford. George Pear, Ed Scott and Theo Jeremy secured a 3-2 win for Cirencester, who are now into the playoff places. And that's the roundup from around the grounds. Back over to you, Dan.
Brilliant. Thanks, Chris. Just before we kick on, I just want to say a big thank you to everybody who's obviously supported the pod. We've only been going since September. I had a message from Spotify this morning to say we've hit 2,500 streams. So since September to have 2,500 streams. That's just on Spotify. So that's not anything on other platforms. So just a massive thank you to people who put us on in their car and decide they want to listen to a Wurzel, well, two Wurzels, Dave's beautician, and Chris, Chris, what did Grandad say? You got a thesaurus in your throat.
Something like that, mate.
So no, a massive thank you to everybody who listens. Like I said, we're still quite young, and hopefully we'll get better.
Dave-
So anyway, let's start with Dave. Let's go on to Gloucester City. Gloucester City 3, Worthing 3, and Gloucester City go on to win on penalties. Dave, I think everybody, even on the prediction league last week, we all predicted Gloucester to lose because Worthing second in the National League safe, absolutely flying there. I think I seen a quote on X, which I think you've highlighted this over the last 24 hours. They're a National League side in the National League South. So to get a 3-3 draw against them and beat them on penalties, you must be absolutely over the moon.
Yeah, wasn't expecting anything, especially when you remember when you arrived that we didn't actually have any strikers. King Baidu suspended after his red card last week. Kane Simpson cup tied because he'd previously played in the trophy for Taunton, and Sops was injured. So makeshift, he's very good at it, but yeah, we had one striker, so Hanks, he played up top. And first half, it went exactly as I expected. They looked a class above us, to be honest, but it all changed. Yeah,
and that's the good thing about cup games. Anything can happen. So yeah, Teddy Jenks. It was a quietish first half. But Teddy Jenks put them ahead 5 minutes into first half stoppage time. That's probably when you must have been thinking the worst time for them to score.
Yeah, exactly that. It's they started with Tom King up front, the Cheltenham lad, but he went off injured.
Went off injured, didn't he, Dave?
So they brought on their top goal scorer, like quite early on, and they just looked. They bossed the first half. They had all the ball. They didn't really create that many chances, but they just looked a class apart. And when they finally scored, I thought, well, I've had a conversation with somebody at half time, and I was thinking, oh well, we kept it tight, but let's keep it tight and not concede early, and let's keep it respectable. That's the way I was looking, to be honest.
How did Tom King do, Dave? He went off at half time, didn't he?
Didn't do a lot, to be honest.
Was he quiet?
They didn't do a lot in the final third. They had a lot of possession around the back and looked really classy, passing it around, nice passing football, getting it out wide. But they never really, the cutting edge, they didn't look. They don't think our keeper had too much. He made a couple of good saves, but it wasn't like OK Corral. We were not pepper. They weren't peppering the goal, but they were just having all the ball and looked like a really, really good, comfortable side. And they got their goal and went in at half time, and you're thinking, not really expecting much. Came out much the same, and then it all just turned on Ellis Watts. Picked the ball up on the right, does what he does, wriggled around in and out, turned into his left foot, turned inside, and then struck a beautiful left-footed shot in inside the far post, and the game was. Everybody was like, well, I was quite surprised. I was talking to some guy who was in the loo and he heard a cheer and he couldn't believe it. He was like, "What? Have we scored? Have we done that?" But yeah, from then on in, it was a different game.
That's it. 2 minutes later, you mentioned the Ellis Watts goal. 2 minutes later, counter attack. Hanks gets his 9th goal of the season, and talk us through the goal.
It was a Hanks midfield goal. He wasn't leading the line. He dropped deep, ball through down the left hand side. Think it might have been Pinchside or Spence, I'm not sure, but pulled the ball back, and he just did what he did. Arrived perfect timing. Arrived in the box about like 8 yards out, and crashed it in. And all of a sudden, from 1-0 down and looking like we could be on the end of a hide, and we're leading. And and we just carried on playing really, really well.
Exactly that. But 3 minutes later, you could have been an absolute dreamland because Pinchard misses a glorious chance, doesn't he?
Oh,
Put
it
City
was
3-1 up, 1-on-1 with the keeper.
The ball came across to him like about 10 yards out, and it fell to his feet. His first touch was perfect, and he literally was just running. He reached the edge of the 6-yard box with just the keeper to beat, with the ball at his feet, running at pace, and it's a goal. And he just hit it quite well, but it was like a penalty situation. The keeper just had to guess. He had no time to react, and he just flung himself to his right and exactly where Pinchard put it. And he actually saved it and caught it. He just dropped to his right hand side. Anywhere else, if he did it straight, if he'd put it the other side, if he just put his laces through it, it would have been 3-1. And you kind of think, oh, are we going to really come back to regret that? But we carried on. We carried on pressing.
I say at that point you was really on top, wasn't you? It was like
Very much so, yeah.
It was all City. But within 2 minutes of that Pinchard chance, City were made to ruin the missed chance because we're within level from a penalty spot. Was it a penalty, Dave?
I was at the other end, and the player went down. It looked like a foul, but it was wide out. It must have just been in the very corner of the penalty area, because from where I was, I thought the referee had given a free kick. So I was thinking, oh yes, that's a dangerous position for a free kick. And all people around me thought it was a free kick, and then all of a sudden, like, the ball's on the penalty spot, and we were quite puzzled. The keeper almost saved it, got a good hand to it, and looked like he'd kept it out. A few people celebrated him saving it, but it still went in. But the game had switched to such an extent that we were having all the ball and pressing, and they were sort of almost hitting us on the break. But yeah, 2-2. And then you think again, you get your doubts of, have we missed our chance? But
then, like you said, we're been seen to have a lot of the ball then. But on the 71st minute, the game swung back in City's favour. Sean Spence makes it 3-2.
The little threaded through ball from Hinchy, I think. And they were playing quite a high line. He sort of slipped him through. He timed his run perfectly, and he was 1-on-1 with the keeper. Like, he was picked the ball up, not that far inside the Worthing half, but he had a long time to think about it. Run at the keeper as the keeper was charging out to try and narrow the angle. He sort of slipped, and then stood back up again. But I think did not do him any favours. But yeah, Sean Spence just took it to the edge of the 18-yard area and then just slipped it past him beautifully. Really, very tidy finish, and it's 3-2. But then you're thinking, even being Mr. Pessimist, I'm even thinking at that stage, that's brilliant. 3-2 up, penalties, because I still thought, they're gonna get another one, and that's the way it turned out.
But that was 4 goals in 15 minutes.
Yeah, it was a mad game, absolutely bananas game. Yeah, most of the City fans, as always, stayed in the T end, but this second half was firing the other way, and I'm behind the goal we're shooting at, as I always do. So yeah, I had great view of all the goals, and it was bedlam.
Yeah, but City again. We talked about the Pinchard chance where he could have put City 3-1 up, and obviously didn't. But City could have went 4-2 up when Dylan Jones hit the post in the 78th minute.
Yeah, it was. He broke down the right, and it was quite a narrow angle. He sort of like went for the near post and hit the outside of the post. It wasn't one of those that hit the inside of the post and went along the line or anything. He hit the outside of the post. So I think the keeper possibly could have had it covered. So it was nowhere near as good a chance, I wouldn't say, as Pinchy's earlier.
Yeah, and then obviously then 5 minutes later, the same as, like I said, as the Pinchard one, they get the equaliser. What was your thinking then? Did you think you would hold on and go on to onto penalties, or
were you worried that we won't? It was a really lucky goal, their equaliser. He just hit it from I don't know, 20 yards, and it just got a huge deflection, which just made it loop right up high in the air and just dropped over the keeper, a bit like the Paul Parker deflection in the World Cup all that time ago, when it just sort of looped and left the keeper with like no chance. But yeah, there was like 7 minutes left then, and we were still having plenty of possession going forward. We weren't just camped in our own 18-yard area trying to protect it. It was still quite an even game. And it's 6 minutes of injury time, and you start to think, oh, that's a long time. But I felt that we could have got the winner as much as conceded the loser. So, but yeah, as it was, I was desperate for it to go to penalties, because we've like that somebody, Paul Clark put this morning on Twitter, that's the 6th time in the FA Trophy in Gloucester City's history a game's gone to penalties, and we've won all 6. So we just seem to have that. It must be in their heads, mustn't it? If a game goes to penalty shootouts, when we just seem to win them, they must feel confident going into it. And I think that's such a massive thing in penalty shootouts, the mental state. And to go thinking, we seem to win every one of them, it must bode well, and it turned out that way. Although
before it went to penalties,
good fortune.
Worthing had a chance late on, didn't they? Where they a couple of chances where they should have really scored. I think the one where the lad hits it wide from the goal.
Yeah, just wide of the post. Yeah, it was a bit of a heart in mouth moment. But as I say, I was right down the other end, so you haven't got the best view. But yeah, half the time I was probably turning my back on it, to be honest. If they were in the final third, I couldn't watch. So
I was listening on obviously on the way back from Wadham Road. I was listening. They went live to
did they?
Park. Yeah, they done the last couple of minutes commentary, and then obviously went.
They were supposed to be doing full commentary on the whole game, but there was something wrong with the line to Gloucester, so they couldn't.
Supposed to be Ryan Butler was doing it. I read on Twitter that there was commentary, but obviously being there, you don't pay much attention. But...
Yeah, it sounded like he was on a mobile phone, so maybe that was the reason.
Right. I think there was commentary, because my friend Heath Brewer over in North Carolina in America tweeted that he was listening to it, so maybe Tigers radio was working, maybe just not BBC.
Yeah. Like you said, Dave, you're always confident on pens, and that's what it did. It went to penalties. Everyone scored. Worthing missed their 4th. City have a chance to win
very nearly missed their 3rd as well. Jared got
gets an hand to it.
A really strong 2 hands. Keeper, right-footed player, run up, hit it to the keeper's left, and he guessed the right way, got 2 such strong hands on it, and pushed it onto the inside of the post, and it just crept in. So yeah. You always feel he's an excellent keeper for penalties. I mean, he's a good keeper, but that is very much a strong point of his game, his shot stopping, and you always feel he's got 1 or 2 saves in a shootout in him, and so it proved. He guessed right on the 4th penalty and dived to his left and saved it quite comfortably. So then up steps Marcus Day to put us through, but that's when it got interesting.
But the first one was saved, Dave.
But very similar to Jared's save previous. He put it like that, and the keeper went left and blocked it quite well. And it's not like we were needing that to stay in it. I mean, we that was to win it, so we would have been level even if that had stayed as a miss. But you got
what was the reason it was retaken? Did he come off his line?
Apparently so. The linesman immediately flagged the referee, went over and said retake, he'd come off his line. But I've seen photos this morning, and it's literally as Marcus Day is, the ball has moved an inch. Marcus Day is striking the ball. And it's from quite a long way, but it looks like the keeper is literally stood with his feet on the white line. So it's dodgy. Yeah, I think we definitely got lucky there. I'm not quite sure. You don't often see it, do you? I mean, you often see keepers coming off their line a bit, and they seem to get away with it. So it seemed very strict and very harsh, but certainly not complaining. And he made no mistake with the retake.
It was only Yezi Dudek in the Champions League final when he was like on the 6-yard line.
Yeah, I know. It's mad, isn't it? When you look back.
So yeah, Day does step back up, and nerves of steel, puts it away.
A little bit of mind games then, isn't it? Do you think the player's going to put it in the same place? Logically, they put it in a different place. So are they going to try and double bluff you and put it in the same place? And the keeper guessed he was going to put it in the same place, but Marcus, the first one was low to the keeper's left, and the that's the way the keeper dived for the retake. But he put it the other to the keeper's right, quite like shoulder height, and it just went in, and job done. And you're into round 4, and like I said, I think everybody
wouldn't have been disrespectful. I think everybody was expecting City to go out yesterday. What was your thoughts, Chris, when you saw the result?
Great result. It's nice to see another county in the FA Cup. Oh, hang on a minute. Yeah, no. On a serious note, it's a great result for Gloucester, and fair play to him.
I'd forgotten that the FA Trophy actually went on into the new year. I was.
Sean, what was your thoughts?
I was quite surprised. Also, I looked on Sky Sports during our game, and it was showing 1-1. I thought it was still 1-1, and it was only when I had a quick break on Twitter and I saw they got 3-3. So fair play to them. That's a good result.
Do you know, I had exactly the same thing. I was walking out of Wadham Road. I looked in, I went to my missus. I went, Gloucester's still 1-1. And I got back to the car, and that's when they went.
What do you use? Flash scores, live score?
No, I use Sky Sports.
Sky Sports.
Because I was just keeping an eye on all the scores as the game's going on. And then as I got to the car, and I park on Wadham Road, so it's not like a far walk. I got to the car and then put the radio on. It was live at the thing, and he was like, so it's currently Gloucester City 3, Worthing 3. And I thought, surely they both haven't scored 4 goals in like literally 3 minutes. But obviously the Sky Sports app wasn't up to date. But no, I agree. I know we're all rivals of each club, but sometimes you just need to take your hat off and say, well done Gloucester City, because that's an outstanding result.
I did.
he's taking his Santa hat off.
Your advice. Getting it off.
onto Daft's thoughts. Delighted. He said at the end. One thing I did notice, and like I said, managers always walk around the pitch after a win. He had a beam. He had a beaming smile on his face, Dave, didn't he?
Yeah, he looked happy. It's a great bit of being a manager. He tactically got it just right. Without some key players, I mean, the 3 I've just mentioned are 3 strikers, but also without Ledbetter, Wildig, Ed Williams went off in the first half injured, replaced by Marcus Day. So we were without 5 or 6 normal starters, and for him to shuffle it round and pick a formation that got a result against a side as good as Worthing, and I think they'll win the National League South this year. It's great. He looked over the moon, and I'm sure Colin, the chairman, was as well. Another $4,500 in the bank in the draw tomorrow.
Absolutely, and like Worthing, they must be one of the sides from National League South North down who has the biggest budget. I think I don't know whether they've gone there. I don't know whether anybody
full time. They've
gone full time now.
I was talking to a couple of Worthing fans who were really, really top people actually, and they're a full time outfit this year for all professionals.
Yeah, no, I knew that last time I was reading up about him. It was last season, and he was talking about going full time. They had some really decent players who moved on to higher level in the summer. They couldn't, obviously, because they lost in the playoffs last season. But yeah, I reiterate what I said, Dave. Absolutely fantastic result. Daft goes on to say resilience to come back and take the lead. He said he was in awe of some of the football they played, and he goes, and we can probably learn a few things from that today.
No doubt.
Which you said, Dave, and you said they passed the ball around really well.
They played a similar style to how we try and play, i.e. very much passing, very few longer balls, very rarely play the ball from one half to the other, work it through the phases. And they did it really, really well. And definitely.
He said City haven't won 4 on the bounce in the competition for 24 years. Was that including yesterday, or would that be, or was he challenging the players to win in the next round to make that happen? Or did that happen?
That included yesterday? That's 4 wins we've had in the competition, haven't we? Preliminary, first, second, and third. So we've all about the draw tomorrow. What do we get? I mean, there's still a few clubs like Leatherhead, and there's some clubs that if we got them at home, you'd fancy us to beat, or do you hope for a big home game against one of the really big clubs and have a great day of it, and hope to get a result? But
Kidderminster, Hereford, Forest Green still in the out. I think Carlisle won, but there was a few, I think, National League sides who rested a few players and have gone out. So
Carlisle, Rochdale.
But I say Hartlepool went out to I can't remember, some Nomads at home.
Anstey Nomads. I wouldn't mind.
That's it, Anstey
Nomads.
Nomads
at home. I'd settle for that.
yeah. But if you had to pick a team now, do you want one of the big local sides to come to
It's
Meadow
a real
Park?
toss-up between Anstey Nomads at home or Forest Green Rovers at home. They both bring different reactions, and I'd be over the moon with either for different reasons. But I think Forest Green, I'd love to. It would be great to get Robbie after he's so confidently predicted. I think his words were that Woodham were going to batter us. Be nice to get him to Meadow Park. And
so Robbie Savage, I think once you listen to this pod, because I know Robbie does listen every week, I think I think your forfeit is tagging Talk of the County in on X, and a big apologies to Dave, and then a well done to Gloucester City after predicting that they would get whooped.
Definitely.
I think that's fair, Dave, isn't it?
Robbie, we're waiting.
Dave will hold on to that, Robbie, for the rest of the season.
Life.
For life.
Yeah.
So you won over. No game's easy, Dave.
No game's easy. But a team, the worst case would be like a good side. Like the worst case would be like Waltham and Hersham away or something. Somebody from a team in our division or the same level who have got a good chance of beating us a long way away without any real glamour or excitement. You want a bit of. You either want a home. First of all, I think paramount. You want a home game. Although a trip to one of the big clubs could be fun, but the thing is, it doesn't matter who you want, does it? Who you get. So we'll deal with the reaction when we see the balls come out of the bag tomorrow at 5.
Do they share the gate in the FA Trophy? To share? Yeah. So you'd want Forest Green at home.
You definitely don't want Forest Green then. Surely.
I think it'd be a big crowd because Forest Green, it's only down the road, and I know people joke about Forest Green's crowds, but it would create a lot of local interest. Like when we played we got like nearly 3,000 when we played Longlevens, because just like loads of people who are like football locally but don't really follow the clubs came out of the woodwork and turned up. I think Forest Green. I think we'd be looking at a sellout, to be honest.
What was the gate yesterday?
Dreadful. It was like 600. But
was it? Yeah. The thing is, Worthing, without being disrespectful, Worthing are a decent side in the division above, but they're not. It's not a team you look at and think, "Wow, we're going to have 2,000."
Exactly. When we drew them, I mean, I didn't try to look what division they were in. I just it doesn't. No, seriously, no disrespect to Worthing, because I'm sure lots of people say exactly the same about Gloucester, but it's not seen as a footballing place. It's I have not really heard. It's not like you only want somebody who's like played in the league but I mean, they're a good side, a few quid behind them, and they're doing well, and I'm sure they'll do all right in the National League next year if they go up. But they didn't really bring the romance, but it was one of those, wasn't it? It was a really tough game on paper without the excitement of playing what would be traditionally known as a sort of big name. But
yeah,
let's see what the next round brings.
No, well done to Gloucester City. I think the result of the day by a mile there, I think, Dave. But yeah, well done. That's the end of Gloucester City, so thanks, Dave.
Yeah. Every single time.
He was working just now. So let's go on to Cheltenham Town. Chris, we had 2 games this week. We start off with the brilliant performance on Tuesday night at Swindon. Again, probably the same as Gloucester City. Nobody really gave us a chance going to high-flying Swindon, who beat Bolton in the FA Cup 4-0 the week before. Their fans were absolutely delighted with the way they played, and Bolton didn't rest many players and just got played off the park. I went there saying, the short journey down the road, I was literally going, take a point. But what a performance, Chris.
Yeah, no, it was excellent. From start to finish to a man, they were all very good. I'm getting more and more frustrated with Ethan Archer because he's he's now preventing me from giving anyone any grief because I've got no one left to give grief to.
We've jumped. Yeah, no, you're right, Chris. And I genuinely think that it wasn't just to go there and Cheltenham had a smash and grab. It was we played them off the park, didn't we?
Oh yeah, it was a thoroughly good performance from start to finish. We started uncharacteristically well. We were really fast out the blocks, and it was an excellent 90 minutes.
Yeah. Only after 8 minutes, a Delican cuts in, he fires a shot, and it was turned around the post. He's one player who I'm starting to think he's really starting to find his fitness now, isn't he? And looks good.
He looks sharp. He looks. I mean, we'll get on to yesterday's game, but he looks sharp in both games, and he seems to start really well, and then he has faded out of games a bit, but he's definitely looking a lot sharper.
Yeah, because literally a few minutes later in the 13th minute, he gets the ball again, he turns, he cuts in, fires one, it just rifles over the bar. He was setting the tone for the game, wasn't he?
Oh, 100%. It was, like I say, it was a good start from us in general, but he certainly looked really sharp.
Yeah, and Swindon had their first chance, where Young blocked, but we'll get on to the defence in a minute, but we not only were we on the front foot when there was a turnover in play, everybody was back in their positions, wasn't they, and doing their jobs.
That's what Steve does. This organisation, and we were organised. I didn't think we looked under any real threat.
Yeah. And Bickerstaff, again, I thought Bickerstaff was brilliant. I thought he put himself
worked his absolute socks off.
Well, obviously I know that this is before yesterday's game, but I was talking to Isaac Hutchinson in the game, and he said he said everybody's just willing for the ball to go in off his backside, and just get that goal because his work rate deserves it. Is that fair?
No, he works his absolute socks off. Like you say, we will move on to yesterday, but he definitely, if we're talking on Tuesday, he deserved something.
Yeah, and we had another chance where Jordan Thomas, who again I think another player, is now starting to show that he's getting his fitness back up. He was causing their fullbacks problems all game. He cuts inside, takes his shot. The keeper spills, and a Delican, if he was just literally half a second more forward, then if
talking about how good Jordan Thomas is,
he was really good going forward, wasn't he?
Forward, he was going really well, mate. And that's what, like you say, he is definitely finding his sharpness as well now. He was out for a little while, and he hasn't been the normal Jordan Thomas since he's been back, but he's certainly looking a lot sharper now. And again, yesterday, I thought he was really good.
Yeah, probably their only real chance of the game was when Swindon should have scored. The ball was put in behind Drinnan, who's been scoring goals for absolute fun for Swindon, gets in behind Wilson, takes a shot. If it is a target, it's a goal. But he blazed it high and wide, didn't he?
Yeah, it was actually a really good run by him. He took it a little bit wider than I think he wanted to, it's in the end it wasn't really a threatening chance, but he should have done better.
Yeah, and it was a bit of a warning sign, really, wasn't it? Because obviously we was in total control and dominating possession and the chances, and it just goes to show that with a quality like Swindon, if you switch off, they could punish you, but thankfully they didn't.
Yeah, exactly that, mate.
And we had another chance just before half time, a free kick from Young, and his effort was turned around the post. It was quite an easy save, really, for the goalkeeper. And that was half time. Again, talking to a few people around me, we was absolutely gobsmacked of how Cheltenham were dominating the game. And nobody expected it. The good thing was as well, obviously we took less than what we did last year, but the atmosphere was fantastic in the away end, and because of the way we was playing, the Swindon fans were pretty quiet, and you could tell they were starting to get on the players' backs a bit because
they were definitely frustrated. The Swindon fans, and you could sense that, particularly when the halftime whistle went. They weren't particularly pleased with how their team was playing, and rightfully so, because. But you've got to give us credit, because it wasn't that they were playing badly; it was that we were stopping them from playing well.
Yeah. So Swindon, that like I said, that was halftime. At halftime, Swindon bring on Ollie Palmer to try and give him a bit of a different dimension. Obviously, we know Ollie Palmer is a big, awkward centre forward who likes to put himself about. I did worry a bit. He is one of those centre forwards who does,
Sorry.
He gave Cheltenham a bit of problems at the back there.
Yeah, look, he's an awkward player, like you say. He's a massive mountain of a man, and he's difficult for any. Sorry, Dave.
Bit like yourself.
Yeah, massive, absolutely huge.
You can see over the desk.
Yeah, exactly. He is a defender's nightmare. But I thought we dealt with him really well, to be fair.
Yeah, no, he did, because he was really quiet, wasn't he? He did, like I said, that worry when he came on at halftime. But I'd say he's really quiet. I think that was obviously down to Rob Cundy, because Rob Cundy, talk about how brilliant he was. He
was absolutely fantastic by a mile. He was my man of the match by a country mile. He was absolutely sensational in everything that he did. Didn't put a foot wrong for me.
Yeah, no, I agree. He was my man of the match, Chris. Sometimes we'll get on to the Cheltenham game in a minute about the man of the match. But sometimes you as you did yesterday, you get people, they look and they're calling man of the match, and you're like, why? Because he scored. But Cundy, he stood out. It wasn't just the fact that he defended well. He was. Do you know what he reminded me? And like I said, don't hammer me for saying this. He reminded me of a real Ferdinand on Tuesday. He was winning the ball, but then getting onto the second ball and bringing it out.
Yeah, he brings it out so well, doesn't he? He's a really classy ball player. I think he could play in midfield.
He was really good, David. I just looked at him in awe, and I just thought, wow, if we can keep him fit, this is the centre half that we saw.
That's the problem with Robbie Cundy, is keeping him fit.
Agree, Chris. Agree. And then on the 59th minute, on the clock, 2 goals in 2 games for your boo boy, Chris. But what?
Boo boy's a bit harsh, mate.
In the words of Andy Gray, what a hit, son. Take a bow.
Mate, he has absolutely thunder swear worded it. So, yeah, it was... Yeah, and I've watched it back quite a few times, and there's very little backlift in it, and he's absolutely smashed it. And yeah, look, I give him a bit of stick. I have given him a bit of stick, little bit, just a touch. But yeah, what can you say? That was. If worldie is thrown around as freely as it is, that was by far and away a worldie.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it's one of those ones, isn't it? You hit it 10 times out, 10 times, and 9 times it goes over the bar.
If you hit it 10 times, it'll go out for a throw in 10 times.
I'd probably miskicked it
when he hits it. Mate, that stayed hit, and that's still. If there wasn't a net there, it'd still be travelling now.
It was one of those ones where when he you could tell he was going to shoot, and before he had the chance to say, "Why are you shooting from there?" It was just literally rifled.
It was in the back of the net. Yeah, it was. Look, like I say, I've given him some stick, but I'll give him some credit where it's due, and that was one hell of a hit. And one hell of a strike. So well done, Ethan Archer.
Yeah.
You can clip that if you like.
What was yours? Dave's face at the moment, because Chris has said, well done, Ethan Archer. What was your thoughts on the goal, Dave?
Oh, it was a hell of a strike, wasn't it? I mean, he's obviously got that in his locker. That's what Luton have seen, presumably. I mean, he's got a bit bit of stick lately because he hasn't been producing, but he's obviously capable of it, isn't he? It's just a question of how often he produces it.
Yeah, I actually did say to Isaac Hutchinson, I did say that. I said, I said, as you're probably aware, I said, some of the fans have been getting on his back because of it, his because of his form. I said, and the questions have always been, how does he start every week? But that's the reason why, because he can pull that out the bag. He'd done it against Luton. He'd done it obviously Tuesday night. The goal at Rotherham was still my favourite goal. He scored the goal at Rotherham in the FA Cup. But he can just pull those moments, can he, Chris?
Yeah, look, he's got a moment in him. It's just that this season it hasn't really gone for him this season. At the start, and he himself, he had an interview where he said, "Look, it hasn't really, kicked off this season for him. But no, he's making up for it now, which is to Cheltenham's benefit, and until January comes when we'll say cheers, mate, and
how many
good luck
games
at
has he
Luton.
got left for you? Is he going at the start of January?
He's off on the 1st of January.
Right. Got money then.
Yeah, so funny enough, Luton have actually picked up and they're out towards the top of League One now. So I'm wondering if they do bring him back in, or there might be a deal for him to stay to the end of the season. I don't know.
Sean? I mean, Steve Cottrell seems to think he's off. So
he did say that after the game before last, didn't he? The Buxton game, after the Buxton game, he said he's probably off. Sean, what was your thought on the goal?
Just basically what you boys have said, really. When I saw it was just a bit of a thunder bastard, wasn't it?
Oh, there's a spare word.
Could have been worse.
That's not what you were gonna say.
No, I know, but I don't want to say what I wanted to say because I would have got told off by Dan.
Thunderbolt, yeah, it was a thunderbolt.
That's better,
So Cheltenham see the game out. The most pleasing thing, Chris, was there was no shots on target, and that just
look, mate. Like I said, they just didn't look threatening, and that was a real surprise after what they did to Bolton. It was a real surprise. They looked a bit blunt in attack.
They did, but you know what? The one thing what pleased me was after the game, I listened to Ian Holloway's press conference, and there's a few managers who could take a leaf out of Ian Holloway's book.
100%.
We all know Ian Holloway can be a bit like a Steve Cottrell. He can be quite sharp in what he says, but he turned around and went, we wasn't at the races, we didn't do this, didn't do that. He said, but that is the credit to Steve and Cheltenham. He said, because they made us play like that. It wasn't, we was just all.
Yeah, 100%. And I actually like Ian Holloway. I think he's a really good manager, and he's the type of manager, the way he speaks, that's what I like. He's black's black, white's white.
Yeah.
It's
also absolutely hilarious.
He does. He's funny as well, isn't he?
And he has got a good joke in him. So credit to Ian Holloway for his honest assessment, and he's right. It was because of us. The way we played was what forced Swindon to play the way that they did. So yeah.
Yeah, no, it was actually refreshing to hear. So thank you, Ian. On to Cott's thoughts. Said we were due to put a marker down away from home, and boy, did we do that.
It's we've been waiting for something like that away from home, and we've got it. It's now about consistency. Can we keep doing it?
Yeah, no, exactly. And you just look at Swindon. Went away to Rover. I know Rovers are not in great form, but went away and won 3-0 yesterday in the lunchtime kickoff. So, between the sandwich between us, they beat Bolton 4-0, beat Bristol Rovers 3-0. So to go there and get a 1-0 win was absolutely brilliant. Yeah. Really, really pleased with the team. He was pleased for Archer. Mark Aliwal asked him a question. This is what I love about Steve Cottrell. He said, so-and-so put a shift in. And then Steve turned around and went, I'll praise my players for playing well. I won't praise them for putting a shift in because that's a given. And I love that. Absolutely loved it. And that's the difference, again, we get on to yesterday's game, but I was just watching him yesterday on on the sideline. Every time there was a pass put wrong, or somebody wasn't getting into position and tracking back, he was letting that player know. And it wasn't like over the top where you were thinking, oh, it's a bit nasty, but he gives that rollicking, but then the next time that player gets the ball and he's played a good pass, he's there really praising him. So he's like a really good man management. He manages the game. I call it the Cots whistle now, because all you hear for the game is him whistling, and players, it must be something he's told the players, listen to my whistle, because obviously as soon as he whistles, they're looking over and he's telling them where to stand. But absolutely brilliant. Ben Stevenson, he was quick to praise. He said Stevenson was absolutely brilliant in front of the back four. Along with the back four, he said he put Stevenson in that bracket, which was right. Obviously, praise Cundy. Just before kickoff, Chris, obviously it was announced that Harry Powell was leaving the club. I know we touched on it on David Bloxham interview on Thursday, but it was always going to happen because it's not worked out for him. But it's sad, isn't it?
Yeah, look, Harry. For me, Harry's one of my favourite all-time Cheltenham players. Not because, well, partly because of what he did in 2016. But it hasn't worked out this time, unfortunately. He got the terrible injury. It was great to see him back on the pitch earlier this season. Unfortunately, and I said it at the time, I think the injury's taken a lot out of him in terms of he was never the quickest, but I think he's lost even more pace now. And unfortunately, it's one of those things. And good luck to him in his business venture. And he'll be more than welcome back down at Wadden Road. And he can come and sit next to me if he likes.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will do. He's always told me he loves the club. And yeah, he's going to go and probably play. That's just what Cott said, because he's probably going to go and play part-time football, and he's about to start up his own business. So, again, Harry, if you're listening and you want to come onto the pod and promote your business, you're more than welcome.
Sponsor us if you want, Harry.
There you go. There you go. So yeah, that was the Swindon game. A thoroughly enjoyable night, absolutely brilliant performance. And then it was, could we back it up against Harrogate? So yesterday, Chris, Cheltenham won, Harrogate Town won. What was your thoughts?
Thought we looked leggy, mate. I thought we looked tired. It was a really, really bright start. Excuse me. We started really brightly, and particularly Hacks started really brightly again. But we just tailed off after 10, 15 minutes, and Harrogate, for me, should have been 2 up at half time. They missed 2 absolute sitters. I class them as sitters anyway. Some other people might disagree, but they missed 2 easy chances, and yeah, at half time I was a little bit concerned. But yeah, we took the lead, and when we took the lead, I actually thought we'd hold on and get the 3 points. But it wasn't to be, and I'm going to talk about the referee as little as I possibly can. But I've seen the word cheat bandied around, and I don't want to say that, but it looked to me like he was doing everything he could to give Harrogate absolutely everything.
Yeah. Before we go on to that, let's just get Pete's views, because he's actually done a Swindon and a Harrogate one. So
Well
it's
done, Pete.
1-1. So see if you agree with what Pete had to say yesterday.
So 2 very different games to review. Let's start with the good one. As Swindon on Tuesday night, Cheltenham were exceptional. For me, the best performance of the second coming of Steve Cottrell. He got the tactics absolutely right. The 4-1-4-1 completely befuddled Swindon. I can't remember how many times Swindon changed formation in commentary. We were desperately trying to work it out for most of the second half. Ollie Clark, their midfielder, seemed to play midfield, right centre-half, left centre-half, and Ian Holloway was clearly struggling to match the Cheltenham formation. What a wonderful goal as well. Ethan Archer with a shot from an awfully long way out. Hit it first time, hit it as clean as you like. No more than Cheltenham deserved. It was a well-deserved away win. Against Harrogate, it was always likely to be difficult. People would be expecting Cheltenham to win comfortably. But as Steve Cottrell said in his post-match, the players did look a bit leggy. They weren't at their fluent best, although they started incredibly well. Akeem Adelakun could have scored twice in the first 10 minutes. Thereafter, I thought Harrogate were pretty decent. They moved the ball well. They were composed. They probably should have been ahead at half-time, but for two really good saves from Joe Day. Great to see Jake Bickerstaff break his duck for Cheltenham. Thought he took the goal really well. He made it himself with a direct run and a shot against the inside of the post and had the presence of mind to follow up. Was it a penalty? At the time, I thought it might have been, but having seen it again, I don't think for 1 minute it was. Cheltenham could have had a couple of penalties themselves. Hutchinson really well played in by Delican, and then he fell over, but did he fall over by himself or did someone help him? And then later on, I actually thought there was a case for a foul on Rob Cundy as well. So frustrating, that Harrogate game, because 3 points would really have moved Cheltenham a long way away from the bottom. As it is, do I think they're in danger of going down? No. But 3 big games coming up now. Barrow away, Shrewsbury at home, and Swindon again to finish the year.
Brilliant. Thanks, Pete. Really well summed up. Agree with everything of that. Do you agree with what he says there, Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah. He mentions about Adelakun. In the first 5 minutes, Adelakun cuts in, has a shot from the angle on the keeper, has to make a save. We talked about the Swindon, how he started off really well at Swindon. He'd done the same yesterday, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I will say, if the keeper gets beat with either of those shots, you'd be disappointed with the keeper. But yeah, he set the tone and yeah, started really, really, really brightly. I think after 10 minutes, they went man for man, and we struggled to find space after that.
Yeah, you're right. Because obviously, Dirk said Adelakun has another shot 5 minutes later. And again, like I said, he started really well. The tone was set. And I was sat there after 15 minutes thinking, there's only going to be one winner in this game. But after 15 minutes, the game did turn on his head a bit, because Harrogate got a grip of the game, whether that was a change of formation or, tactical change, because Hutchinson, Archer, Thomas, and Adelakun, the time they were getting on the ball in the first 15 minutes wasn't happening, Chris, was it?
Yeah, no, like I say, I think they went man for man. It looked like it to me. Yeah, we really struggled to find space. And our forward players were anonymous, pretty much.
Yeah. They had a ball into the box. At the time, it looked to me that they fumbled it. And obviously their player puts it into the net, but the linesman flagged to say, someone said to me it was offside, but
no, it was a foul.
It was a foul on day. I've not seen it.
He gave a foul. Goalkeepers are protected animals, and is it a foul for me? Probably not, but you're always going to get them. As soon as you make contact with a keeper, it's a foul. So yeah, it is what it is.
And on the 20th minute, Day makes a good save, but the ball's put across the box and Smith side foots it. But if I was Alessandro Jatta, even if that was Isaac Hutchinson, that ball rifles into the back of the net. He should score, shouldn't he?
He's got to score that. It's a good save. Don't get me wrong, but he's made it easy for Joe to save. For me, it's pretty central in the goal. Day just has to shift across and dive across, and he saves it. He should have scored.
Yeah, and then on the 39th minute was the big save. The ball gets into the box, it scrambles about, but their lad turns on it, hits it. And if anybody can think of it, it's not quite like this, but it's sort of in the same vein. Think about the David Seaman save against Sheffield United in the FA Cup back in 1998, where he claws it up back,
scoops it. Yeah,
it was a save like that yesterday. He hits it, and
it was similar. It was a lot close. It was much closer range, but yeah, that was a very, very good save by Joe Day. It was. Yeah, he literally scooped it from behind him. And yeah, again, he should have scored, but it's an excellent save.
Yeah, and so that keeps it 0-0 half time. And I think, as Pete just said, I think you couldn't argue if Harrogate had gone in ahead at the break, because after
No, I thought they should have been 2-0 up.
Yeah, I agree, absolutely agree. So on to the second half. Cheltenham come out, a different referee comes out. I'm joking, but it was a different referee in terms of it was the sort of game he refed. In the 66th minute, Adelika nodes the ball up, slides Hutch in, and as Pete just mentioned there, Hutchinson's running onto it. So you think about, it's one of those balls. He's just crested, hasn't he, Chris, with the side of his foot. Hutch is running onto it. You're thinking, I'm about to stand up because you're thinking the net's going to bulge, and he just goes down he goes down, and it looked, Hutchinson was literally screaming at the referee that he was pulled back. What was your view?
I don't think that was a penalty, that one. I think he just missed the ball and fell over. That's me being completely honest. I don't think that one was a penalty. But we'll talk more about penalties, I'm sure.
Yeah, I was 50-50. I've not seen it back. But just, seeing the type of player Hutchinson is, and
that's what made me think, because Hutch scores that 99 times out of 100. It's the question I ask is, why has he gone down? Because you don't
he was running onto it.
I think personally, I think he missed the ball and slipped over. Because it didn't look a penalty to me. But why did he go down? That's the question I ask. But I will give my honest view as I always do. I didn't think it was a penalty.
Okay, yeah. Then Steve Cottrell makes a couple of saves. He was in goal. He came on for Joe Day. Makes a couple of subs. He brings Martin and Bickerstaff on. Firstly, was you surprised he took Thomas and Archer off? Because I thought it was at a time that Cheltenham were starting to get on top.
I'm surprised he took Thomas off. I wasn't surprised he took Archer off. But I mean, Thomas looked like our main threat for me. I thought he had a decent game. Although he did look a bit leggy first half, he was certainly doing all right second half. But it is what it is. And Steve's paid to make those decisions. And ultimately, I mean, unfortunately for Martin, he didn't really affect the game in any way when he came on. But the other substitutions certainly worked.
Yeah. Well, exactly. It wasn't long after. It looked like the point in the 71st minute. It looked like Cheltenham were going to go on and take the points. Bickerstaff gets the ball. It goes direct at the defender. He cuts in, curls it, hits the post, and it just seemed like slow motion when it came back to him. And it seemed like he was waiting for the ball to come back to him, and he was like, just go and hit it. Just go. And he did. He puts it in, and Cheltenham won it up. It's pleasing for him, Chris, isn't it? Because he's like,
it definitely is. And I'll be completely honest. When it hit the post, I thought, Jesus Christ, this guy is cursed. He's never going to score a goal. And I thought the way it hit the post, I thought he was just going to go straight back into the keeper's arms. But thankfully he followed it up really well and popped it in. And I'm delighted for him because he deserves that. The shifts that he has put in when he started games is second to none. He's worked his absolute socks off in every game that he's played, and he really, really deserves that goal.
He does. I think you could tell the old Wadham Road was on their feet yesterday when he scored, because that was a long time coming. And then again, we talk about the referee. I don't think he had.
I'm trying to be as nice as I possibly can about this referee, by the way.
Exactly that. As it's always said, is an hard thing to do is being a ref in a game, because they get to see it once. We're sat up in the stands. We're seeing it from an elevated view. But this happened after the goal. So we'll get onto the penalty in a minute. The ball comes up to the halfway line. Bickerstaff goes up to edit.
This is the Bickerstaff one.
Their centre half goes into back of Bickerstaff. Bickerstaff then falls into their player in front of him. referee blows it. The whole of Wadden Road cheer because they think it's going to be a free kick. And he gives a free kick the other way for Bickerstaff pushing their player in the back after he gets pushed from their centre half. And everybody's just like literally losing their head thinking, what is this guy doing?
It was a sign of more to come, unfortunately.
It was, because in the 79th minute, they get a penalty. And it was an absolute farce. I agree what Pete said, but I disagree. At the time, I didn't think it was a penalty. I looking straight at it. One, there was a foul on Stevenson in the build-up, which the referee didn't give. And then Wilson slides down the side of him. And again, maybe it's because I'm seeing it from an higher up view, but he slides down the side of him, doesn't touch him. The player goes down. And it's like Steve Cottrell said, Chris, he could not wait to blow the whistle and point to the...
No, he couldn't. He couldn't wait. My view was the challenge, it was a penalty. That was my view. However, there's not one foul before that on a Cheltenham Town player. There's two. Two fouls not given against us. One, the bloke has got hold of Stevenson and he's just thrown him on the floor. Literally pushed him right in front of the referee. And then, yeah, the rest is what it is. You are completely right. He could not wait to give that. Not wait. His whistle was already in his mouth.
What was your reason in thinking it was a penalty? Because I definitely didn't think it
just was. From my view, different angles, Dan. The replay I've seen, I don't think it is the challenge is a penalty. I don't. But when I first saw it, the angle that I had, it looked like a penalty. The challenge itself, but it shouldn't have happened anyway because there were two fouls before it.
So they are just showing the guys now. That's not a penalty. It's not a penalty. That's exactly what I saw at the time. Seen at the time. He literally slides in to the side of him, and you're right. Obviously, in terms of, like I said, he slides. See, the player's going down before Wilson's gone down the side of him, and I just think the referee got it really badly wrong. But we're used to this, Chris, aren't we?
We've had some shocking referees. We've had some really, really shocking referees. Can we just have Abigail Byrne every week because she was sensational? But yeah, other than her, we've had some really shocking referees.
Well, we get some referees who have officiated in the Championship, League One. They kind of, but apparently this referee hasn't refereed.
No, this guy's refereed. He's refereed in his career, I think, 7 times in League One. Mostly National League.
Yeah, I can't see him officiating the Championship. That's for sure, because he was terrible. So that made it 1-1. 4 minutes added on. Cundy goes down. I was screaming for a penalty.
Stonewall penalty.
In my opinion, you've seen him given. It's one of
it's not seen him given. It's a stonewall penalty for me. I put a clip of it in our group chat. For me, it's a stonewall penalty. Cundy's got the ball, he's nicked it in front of the bloke, and he's literally run straight in the back of him. How it's not a foul, I don't know. Anywhere on the pitch, that's a foul. So why isn't it a penalty? It's a stonewall penalty.
That's where I'm saying why I think it should be given a penalty, because if it's on the centre circle, you're right, Chris.
Anywhere on the pitch, it's a foul. So why isn't it a penalty?
Yeah,
the refs had an absolute nightmare.
He had some abuse from me.
It's lost for words. Is what I am on that decision.
I shouted down to Steve Cottrell as he was walking down the tunnel. I went, Steve, I said, you got to put a complaint in. I said, that is borderline cheating. And he went, yep, I agree, yep. As he was walking down the tunnel. But the referee got some stick as he was walking in the tunnel too, which, again, like I said, at the time, when the game's going on, we're all emotional and we scream and shout stuff. But, we got to remember.
Again, and we've said this on this podcast many, many, many times, personal abuse is not acceptable anywhere. even if the referee has had a shocker, which he did. He had the worst second half refereeing performance I think I have seen all season. However, personal abuse is not on. I'm still fuming at how bad he was.
As a complete neutral, I'm just watching it here on loop. That's penalty all day, isn't it?
No, it's a stonewall penalty.
Yeah, actually, I'm not a neutral. I'd prefer it not to be a penalty. I'm the other way, but it is a penalty. No wonder Malibus has had an aneurysm on X. That's you feeling better, Malibus.
And Dave, if you get Sky Sports app up now and zoom towards the end, watch the penalty was given to them and thinking, how have you given that, but not that? That's the bit where you think, I'm
on it.
I'm never ever going to sit here and say a referee cheats because I'd be talking about backside. There's no referee goes out and cheat, but it's down to competence, isn't it? And I think there was a few decisions,
even consistency.
Yeah. And I just generally think that there was.
But he gave Harrogate absolutely everything.
Well, you look at the
fouls on us, he was giving to them.
You look at the Tompkinson booking, and then 10 minutes later, Charlton break away, and he gets ripped down. He gives a free kick, but then doesn't book their player. Yeah. And I just think there was a section in that game. It was about 15 minutes where a lot was happening. And I just generally think that he lost control of the game, and he was just trying to make decisions.
He lost control of himself, Dan.
Yeah. What do you think, Dave?
I couldn't agree more. It's like Brendy's is a penalty, and that's not a penalty, is it?
Because Wilson's gone down the side of him, hasn't he? And he's gone down before Wilson even gets gets anywhere and kind of near. Anyway, we're not going to change his decision. I'm sure when the FA have,
we'll get an apology.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I bet
which will really make things better.
Yeah.
It will really give us those 2 extra points, won't it?
Yeah, it's like rescinded red cards, and that's like makes it all right.
But on the other hand, and again, I'd like to stay fair, I think on the balance of play, I think Harrogate deserved a minimum point because I thought.
In fairness, they did deserve a point. Yes, it was a fair result, but the result shouldn't have happened.
No.
They should have won that 1-0.
Because when we was winning up, I couldn't see them scoring. That's the only thing. Anyway, on the Cott's thoughts, said exactly what you said at the beginning, Chris. Thought that we looked very leggy, and on Tuesday night's result, it looks like it took it out the players. He said you could tell that we'd played 3 games in a week and Harrogate only played 2, obviously because they didn't have no FA Cup games Saturday, so they only played Tuesday and yesterday. So he said you could tell that was the case. They was a lot more sharper. Pleased with the lads overall. Was going to ask the ref to explain his decision. I would love to have been a fly on the wall there. Yeah. But yeah, and that was basically it. It was 1-1. It was a fair result on the balance of play, but disappointing how they got the point. Anyway, there's Cheltenham Town. Let's go to Forest Green Rovers. Sean, how did you see the game? It was quite an easy. Saying easy, you made quite light work of it, didn't you?
Yeah, in the end. First half, I don't think we were that bad. We weren't obviously quite at it in the final third. We did hit the bar right on the last kick of the first half. But obviously, Robbie wasn't too happy. Made 3 changes, started the second half. And then, just looked completely different. Looked a lot more, sharp, I guess, going forward. A bit more. And then, we obviously got the goal. Whitwell put a mint ball into Macca and straight on the money. And he didn't make no mistake from there. And then after that, it was pretty much just us, really. I mean, I know I make a joke of it and that, but I wouldn't have been surprised to see the second half finish like 6-0.
Yeah, come on, lads. We're going to get out.
Threes.
Back to the first half, like you said, looking at the game back, the first 30 minutes, it seemed like Rovers had a lot of the ball without threatening. Was that fair?
Yeah, I think so. I'd say so. Well, I'd say so. I thought Western had a couple of little moments in the first half. They knocked the ball around all right a couple of times, actually, to be fair. I don't remember the keeper Nicholas really having to make a save.
Yeah. And just before halftime, Rovers had a chance, but it was cleared off the line.
Can't even remember that now.
It's weird, Sean, because you said about it to the bar. When I've gone back for the match, the analytics of the game, there's nothing mentioned about it in the bar.
Didn't I put it in the chat?
You did put it in the chat about it in the bar, but it says just before halftime you had one cleared off the line.
Oh, I don't remember that one.
Sean's Christmas party had started early.
I obviously, like I said, the only real sort of chance I remember is when we hit the bar. We may have had one cleared off the line, but yeah.
But hitting the bar didn't happen, and you had one cleared off the line.
Let's go on to the second half where a bit more did happen, Sean. So at half time, Robbie,
do you remember?
if you can remember it, yeah. Robbie made 4 subs at half time. Clark, Bunker, Babalola, and Bamba replacing Moore, Canu, Douche. I keep calling him Douche. Douche and Holton came off. What was his thinking? Was it because
from what I could gather, was he was just not happy with the lack of bodies getting into the box. I heard him shout to Nick and Dash a couple of times to telling them to get in the box, because we were putting balls in, but we just had no one there to get on the end of them.
Yeah.
And he was, like I said, he was just fuming. I sort of heard towards the end of the first half as well that he was going to bring Bunker on at centre half. So I wasn't sure if he was going to move Mendy back into the middle or whatever. But then when the second half went to kick off, I saw Carnu had been replaced.
Yeah. Rovers did seem to.
I'm not sure because he wears a full face mask where he broke his jawbone against Altrincham, I think it was, and he's been wearing a mask since he's returned, and he's been complaining no end about it. Complained about it a couple of times last week. Before that, he had a different mask, a full face mask, and he was complaining about that one. So he has had it changed, and it still seems to be just giving him grief, I think. So I think he's been struggling.
Yeah. Obviously, they made those subs at halftime, and Rovers seemed to be on the front foot at the start of the second half. By the signs of it, with the 4 subs, and obviously we'll get on to Robert's thoughts, but the four subs and the way Rovers did start in the second half, I think Robbie had some harsh words at halftime.
Yeah, probably. Obviously, he don't really say too much about his halftime talks, but you can kind of gather from, like I said, like the mood he was in at the end of the first half. I can imagine how the halftime went, but yeah.
I'm surprised he managed to get his halftime team talks into 15 minutes. I've got to be honest.
That totally vexes me.
Whatever got said,
really quickly.
Obviously, it gave him a kick up the backside. Second half looked, like I said, a lot sharper, and obviously it paid off.
Yeah. In the 52nd minute, Whitwell sends the ball in. McAllister heads home. Obviously, how important was it for Rovers to get that goal on, and rather than it going on and giving Western that bit of encouragement?
Well, yeah, I think, like I said, the longer it stays, 0-0, you kind of start creeping in and you think, is it going to be one of them games where you're going to sort of regret missing your chances? And then there's always that opportunity, like you look at Gloucester and Worthing, it goes to penalties, and then it's just really a 50-50 on them, isn't it, really? So
Unless one of the teams is Gloucester, and then it's 100-0.
But yeah, no, getting a nice early goal in it, I think it just changes the game then.
It does change the game, because 6 minutes later, Rovers double their lead. Pemberton's cross from the right, good work in the box from Temi, and then McAllister slams home. That's his second goal. Was it a case then of how many Rovers could go on and get?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, like you said, it was a nice bit of work and good cross. Western failed to clear it, but again, the defender was being hassled by Temi Babalola. And yeah, it dropped out to Maka, who just fired home, which again, it's just another bit of, proof that if you get the bodies in the box, it's going to drop to one of them eventually. But yeah, like second half, like I said, it was just I think we could have scored 6 in that second half easily, and I don't think you'd have been surprised.
Yeah. Then they said the goals started coming in the 70th minute. Clark gets the ball, gets on the act with a goal, and assisted by McAllister. So McAllister 2 goals and assist.
Yeah, Mako was really, really good yesterday. I was rooting for him to try and get a hat-trick, to be fair, because he probably deserved it. But no, it was great, ball across just outside the box, I think it was. And Clark just let it run across him, and he just fired it in bottom corner of his left foot. So it was a nice, tidy little finish.
Yeah, if you can remember last week when we was talking about the FA Cup, and we said about well, no, you wasn't here last week, but listening on the pod, you would have heard us saying about against Buxton, your better players stand out against the lower league opposition, and that's what McAllister done yesterday, wasn't it? I think he was that player who stood out.
Yeah, he did. But then you kind of, he is just a class player, isn't he? I mean, he played well last season, and he's played really well this season. He is, I think, like you said it before, Dan, I think he's playing a level below at least what he should be.
Yeah. And then obviously 7 minutes to go, Clark gets his second. Rovers are 4-0 up, and pretty much demoralised Western.
Yeah, Western, to be fair, second half they didn't really do anything. I think that was more how we were than them. Like I said, in the first half, they had a couple of moments where they knocked the ball very nicely. Mine was like, I don't want to go back to the first half too much, but there was one where they done 3 passes, and all of us, like, we was on the attack. They pinched a ball off us. I think it was like 2 passes or maybe 3, and they were literally attacking our box. I thought that.
Did they hit the bar?
Nah. I thought that Britton played for him. He didn't. First half, he looked okay. I didn't think he'd done anything second half, really. He was a big guy, big number 9. He caused a bit of hassle in the first half, but second half, we controlled him quite well. I think he scores a lot of their goals.
Yeah.
Did Sam Avery play at the back for them?
Yeah, I think he did. I didn't really see too much of their team, but I think that name rings a bell.
Yeah, he was with us for a long time, and then left us, and looked like he was on the.
Obviously, they had Adam May started, ex-FGR.
How did he do?
To be honest, I don't think he was. I was expecting him to be a little bit better. He hasn't really played a lot of football though, has he? So
no,
I think he's still trying to get back up to fitness. They obviously had Don Bernard as well. Again,
did he get a good reception?
I didn't hear anything, so I don't think it was good or bad.
You sure you were there? Sure.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I didn't hear him get like a good or a bad reception. Like,
Oh, right.
I think he did it at the end. That one that you know, Dave. I think she goes to Gloucester City sometimes.
Shannon.
She was chatting to him at the end. So yeah, he did get. A lot of fans spoke to him at the end. So I'd say yeah, his reception was pretty good to come back.
Yeah. What was the gate yesterday, Sean? Do you know?
900 and something.
Was it? So Robbie got the safe stand
to
open.
To be fair, the Western fans were pretty good, mind.
They brought about 200, didn't they?
Yeah, there's about 200. They even at 4-0 down, they were still singing.
This is the weird one. This is obviously my next question. Is obviously, you know, I've had a look through the FA Trophy yesterday, and a few National League clubs went out, and you know they rested players, and it always seems to be like you say that the attendance there. Gloucester get Worthing, a team above them, get 600. You got 900 yesterday. Obviously 200 for Western. So obviously the interest from the fans is not there at the moment. I know it probably does as it goes on, but like I said, a lot of teams in the National League have gone out. I see Altrincham went out. We said Hartlepool went out. What was it? Was it Astay Nomads?
Anstey
Nomads. They went out to them at home because obviously they're looking at the league. For if Forest Green gets through in the next couple of rounds, and then you're starting to look at going, could get Wembley here, but you're in the title race. You know, there's nothing in it. There's fag paper between you and 5 other teams. Robbie's obviously stated that he wants to go all the way. I can remember back in 2015, I wanted to run it. I wanted to go to Wembley, but Gary Johnson put literally all the kids out and we got knocked out. Are you all for Robbie having a go at this, or would you rather concentrate on the league?
No, I want to go to Wembley, mate. I want to. I'd happily go there with the trophy. You know, for the FA Trophy. I think that's that non-league finals day in it where they do the trophies at the trophy in the vase together.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'd actually be supporting an A side with a bit of passion.
It would be a bit of a nightmare trying to get coaches organised if we both got to Wembley. I'm not sure there's enough coaches in Gloucestershire.
Well, saying that,
York and Boreham got knocked out yesterday as well, didn't they?
Yeah, like I said, a few of them have made
Rochdale and Carlisle are still in it.
So. Yeah. Carlisle 1-2-1. But yeah, that's my point. Is you know, you can have a go at it, but you know, especially if games, not so much Forest Green, because Forest Green have got a quite hybrid pitch. But you start playing inside, you have games called off in January, February, and then you get to your March, Aprils, and then you're playing Saturday, Tuesday, and then you've got to play in the FA Trophy. That was kind of one of my question was, you know, could it potentially derail a title push? Is it more important for Forest Green to just get in the National League?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Obviously, the league's a priority, and you want to get out of the National League. I think we do need to make a signing or two. I think we look a little bit light in, you know, centre back, and like obviously it's well known and made it quite well known on X and stuff that we need like a striker, like a fox in the box kind of striker. That, you know, they might have made a bit of a difference yesterday. You don't know. But no, I like, you know, the FA Trophy is what it is. Like I said, I'd like to get to the final. I'd like to, you know, have a day at Wembley. You just got to hope that you do come through like yesterday, injury free.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a funny one because I'm not sat here like knocking Forest Green or Robbie for doing it, because like I said, I can go back to 2015. I was annoyed when Gary Johnson put the kids out and we went out. But on the other hand, the bigger picture was for Cheltenham to get back in the Football League, and that's why I'm kind of like trying to compare the two.
I mean, sometimes though they say, like, you know, winning just breeds winning, doesn't it? So sometimes the cups can help you sort of just keep winning, building confidence. But other times, yeah, it can sort of be a bit of a distraction. So I guess we just have to see how it goes. But Robbie, you know, he's made it pretty clear that he wants to go strong and he wants to go far in it. So
I'll never forget 1998, my friend.
No,
When we went to Wembley and won it, it was a great day out, and I was only a young boy then, but it was fantastic.
But to put into comparison, though, Chris, is in '98 we were a non-league club who didn't really believe we would become a football league club. Because it happened very quickly, didn't it? You look at that sliding doors moment between Cheltenham and Gloucester in '97. It could have gone either way. But when in 2015, we just had a massive stint in the football league, so we dropped out. But the aim was to get back first time, which we did. But that's what I mean with Forest Green now. Forest Green, with their ambitions, they want to be a football league club. So that was why the question was kind of like, you're right. The memories is absolutely brilliant to go to Wembley, win a trophy. But I just wanted to get Sean's thoughts and see, whether he would rather him just concentrate on the league or go for both.
I think it's similar to like the Johnson's Paint Trophy with like the football league clubs, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, because the further you go in it, you start getting. When Cheltenham got to the semi-final a few years ago and we lost to Plymouth on penalties, we was resting players in the group stage, got through the group stage. I think a bit of a mix in the next round. You got through that, and then you start thinking, "Oh, hang on, we're getting closer to and then teams start putting stronger sides in." So you are right, but yeah, no, just generally, I'm not knocking it. I'd be an hypocrite if I said you're doing it wrong, because, like I said, I wanted Gary Johnson to do different, and when he turned up for a match day and he made 11 changes, I wasn't very happy. But we got promoted.
Like some managers like to go for it. I mean, I think the last team who was sort of going for the league and got to the final was Wrexham, and I think they lost there.
Yeah, I was at the game. They lost 1-0 to Bromley.
Yeah,
they lost there. They took over 20,000 in that day, because I do the non-league finals day every year. Go and sit in there. You get the best seats in the house for £30. You get to watch the vase and the trophy. So if anybody's ever thinking about doing it, it is absolutely brilliant.
Well, to get a little talk of the county trip organised.
Well, there you go. That in April, May, we get there. You literally sit. The first time I went for that Wrexham game, I was sat right above where they lift the trophy. So it was like pretty much where the royal boxes are. When I went last season, we was more across, but but you're in that middle tier bit where if you was there for an FA Cup final, it would cost you like £1,000 to have a seat there. So it is well worth it. And like, joking aside, it would be good to see one of the county sides get there. As long as you lose in the final, it would be good to give something for us to.
Am I right in saying, Sean? Forest Green did get to the final one year, but it was played at Villa Park.
Yeah,
I think I went to that game.
Oh, closet Rovers fan who's coming out.
Yeah, I think I went to that game. I remember going to Villa Park, and I'm sure it was Forest Green that were playing.
Yeah, it was when Wembley was being rebuilt, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay. Good conversation. Just quick with Dave, because obviously you're in the FA Trophy still. Do you get what I'm saying? Would you rather Gloucester just get promoted, or would you like to see you go further now you're getting into those latter stages?
I'd like us to promotion's priority, but we just simply haven't really got a big enough squad to be able to rest players.
What was the prize money for yesterday, Dave?
$4.5 grand, wasn't it?
Grand.
That's Robbie's bonus. That's Robbie's bonus.
£5,000 winners and 1,500 quid losers. So we've already even if we go out the next round, we've guaranteed over 15 grand in prize money, which is useful.
Yeah, brilliant. Cheers, guys. And Robbie's thoughts were he was delighted with the result. He made the 4 changes at half time. He said he was not happy. It wasn't good enough. Second half, he was delighted though. Said Forest Green may try to out Western in the future, Sean. So maybe a bit of a link between the two clubs.
Well, to be fair, there seems to be somewhat of a link there. I mean, obviously they had Cirques on loan. Obviously Adam May was, terminated, and he joined there. But yeah, there seems to be somewhat of a link there. Obviously the manager, ex-FGR. So yeah, but they're quite a decent club, I think, aren't they, Westerns, really? So
They're doing well. I think they're going to do they've just had planning permission to redevelop the ground and what have you. So,
if we can't get out the league this season, it'd be nice if they come up. It's a nice little away day.
Yeah, 100%. I always keep an eye out for their results. I want them to do well. And, I think obviously Cert going back to you guys, I think that tells you that he's probably going somewhere in January, because otherwise they would just extend it for another month. So I think we've been going back to Forest Green tells you he's probably leaving you guys in January and he's got something lined up wherever that may be. So yeah, he says he's obviously the link between the two clubs. Still wants to score more goals. Four is not enough. He wants more. Clean sheet 2. Robbie dedicated that to Chris. He said this is for Chris on the Talk of the County podcast.
It's all well and good getting clean sheets about against teams in lower divisions. You need to do it in the league.
He said he wants to get to Wembley. We've just talked about that, Sean. He finishes off saying he has some big decisions out of Yeovil, I think, because obviously the players he gave a chance to in the first half didn't really step up.
I think, like I said, because he went strong, and that was the team first half is pretty much what's been starting in the league. So, Bamba come on. He hasn't really featured at all for a while. And I thought he looked really good when he came on.
Yeah. And then, the result was there, Sean. Emphatic second half, and Rovers, you're into the fourth round. Who do you want?
Gloucester.
For the sake of this pod, that would be brilliant.
That's why I want Gloucester.
It would be absolutely. If we get that, we'll do. I think if the draw happens, we'll get a special with Robbie and yourself and Daff and Dave.
Yeah.
That'd be really good.
I'll book a week off work.
Yeah,
I want nothing to do with that.
Right. That's the talk for Forest Green Rovers. Thanks, Sean. Right, we'll go on to. We've got a half a season team we've all put together. So the way this works is it's not going to be like, Cheltenham in the Football League, Forest Green are in the National League, so it's all going to be Cheltenham Forest Green players. What we've done is you're allowed a maximum of 4 from each club in your starting 11. Two maximum of 2 for subs, but obviously there's going to be one club that'll have 3 because there's 7. So what we've tasked the guys to do is put together their half a season best 11 from around the county. So this is based on, it doesn't matter what level, based on how they're doing for their clubs, the impact they're having. So we're going to talk through our sides, and then we're going to all agree on a best 11, which we will post out for our half a season. Have you all done your own work, guys? Are you ready to give your sides out?
Yeah.
I know Dave definitely has.
I've got a side to give out, but I haven't done my own work on it.
Well, just so we know, I'll start off with what I've got. So I'll start off. I've got Thompson in goals from Gloucester, because he seems to be able to. He's kept Gloucester in a few games with penalty saves and what have you. So I've gone with Thompson. It was close between him and McNicholson. Even though Day has started to play really well for Cheltenham, just think we got a minus 17 goal difference, so it'd be a bit of a farce if I put our goalkeeper in there. So Thompson from Gloucester. I've got James Wilson from Cheltenham Town centre half. I got Mendy from Forest Green Rovers centre half, and I've got Tompkinson in at centre half for Cheltenham Town. I've got wing back left. I got King Badu, so he's going to be on the left as a wing back, because like I said, I am playing a 5-3-2, and I think he's done really well for Gloucester over the last few weeks. I've got Jilly Biabu as a wing back.
That's a huge say.
As on the he's been put over to. I know he plays on the left for you, Sean, but I'm putting him as on the right. to fit him into my team. So I think there's a lot of pace on for my wing backs. In the middle, I got McAllister, Forest Green. I've gone for Hutchinson, Cheltenham, and Stevenson, Cheltenham. Up front, I've got Joe Hanks playing as a 10, because I know you've been pushing him into striker, but he scored 9 goals. You can't leave him out. And I've got Babalola, Forest Green, because I just think what he offers up top. Again, I think. So that's my 11. On the bench, I got Whitwell from Forest Green. I've got Thomas from Cheltenham. I got Richards Everton from Gloucester. Pinchard from Gloucester. Horton from Forest Green. Joe Day from Cheltenham. And Canu from Forest Green. And that is my team of the half season team. What do you think, guys?
Shall I go next? I'm quite gratified that we've got quite a lot of similarities, because I've got to admit I don't see a lot of. The biggest problem for me was picking which Gloucester City players, and then it was a bit of question of just trying to remember names that you boys have mentioned, because I don't obviously see a lot of Forest Green or Cheltenham. But I've gone for the Forest Green keeper now instead. I'm not going to go into formations and stuff. That's far too complicated. But I've got a back four of Tompkinson, Ben Richards Everton, Wilson, and Knowles. And then I haven't really got many strikers, but I've got Ellis Watts for Gloucester and Pinchard for Gloucester. I've got Nick Horton and Hutchinson. And then I've got Whitwell and Thomas for Cheltenham.
Okay.
On the bench, Hanks was unlucky not to get in, as was O'Regan and Spence. So I'd go those 3, and then 4 other players, 2 from Cheltenham, 2 from Forest Green, that are at the moment unspecified.
So your own work, Dave, is when we do the final season one, is to pick your bench, but at least you got the 11. Right, let's go on to Chris. Chris, what's your team?
Professional Pete over here. I've actually got a graphic for you as well.
Oh, God's sake.
So I will show you my graphic. If you bear with me a second. We'll go with that. There we are. Can you all see my graphic? You're going to be fuming with me because I've got Charlotte Haynes of Cheltenham Town Women in goal. It's a bit of a cheat from me because you're only allowed 4 from each team, and she doesn't play for Cheltenham Town men.
We can't see
anybody else see.
There you go. So I've got Charlotte Haynes from Cheltenham Town Women in goal. I've watched quite a bit of Cheltenham Town Women, and she has been absolutely fantastic. And it's shown in the results when she isn't in the team, because she got suspended for a few games. Cheltenham didn't pick up any points, so I didn't win a game. So there's my little cheat code to be able to get a couple of one other Cheltenham player in. We've got Trey Pemberton at right back, James Wilson centre back, Ben Richards Everton at centre back. I'm sorry, but I couldn't bring myself to put a Forest Green centre back in there. They concede way too many goals. And I've got Tompkinson at left back. In the midfield, Ben Stevenson, and I couldn't leave Joe Hanks out. I think he's had a great first half of the season. Isaac Hutchinson, McAllister, and Tom Knowles, with Kane Simpson up top.
I know you've got Chris Norton on the bench.
I need to jump in there. I need to jump in there, Chris. You've got 5 Cheltenham Town players. You're only allowed to match.
No, I haven't. I've got 4 Cheltenham Town men's players and 1.
As did I say?
Yeah, who's Kane Norton on the bench?
Sorry?
Who's that Kane Norton?
Kick Norton.
Yeah, Norton, whatever his name is.
Nick Horton.
Yeah, him.
Yeah, Kick Norton.
Nick Horton.
King they do.
So you've got his wrong initial and...
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's fine. Pinchard, Bunker, Shering, and Thomas. There you go, boys. There's mine.
Okay.
Have you done a graphic, Sean?
No, mate. I literally just slapped 11 together because when you boys were talking about it last night, I was late at a Christmas party and I have got a team together.
Go on.
So I've got Oisted in goal for Forest Green.
Same.
Our keepers, I think we got 2 decent keepers. Oisted's been brilliant since he's come in, so I just went with that one. Defenders, I did go more with Cheltenham on this one. So I've got...
You can't not. We keep so many clean sheets.
Cundy, Wilson and Tompkinson. And then I've got Dylan Thomas from Gloucester at right back.
Dylan Thomas, the Welsh poet.
I don't know. You text me, Dylan Thomas.
Yeah, either Kieran Thomas or Dylan Jones.
Dylan Jones, I was going to say.
Dylan Thomas is a poet. But I mean, apparently he was quite handy on the right. No,
I've gone for Dylan Jones.
Under Milkwood, excellent.
And then in the midfield, I've gone with Stevenson, Mendy, and Whitwell. And then
You've left Hutchinson out. Wow.
Oh no, I didn't even put him on the bench either.
Wow.
Technically, he's a Bristol Rovers player, so I haven't done anything wrong there.
Isn't Whitwell out on loan as well? He's on loan.
Right, like I said, lads.
So your game of jail card doesn't add up there.
I've had to try and ping this together today. So I've gone with Macca on the wing, and then I didn't have a clue about these 2 players or all their positions. So I've gone with Joe Hanks up front and Pinchard on the wing. And then on the bench, I've got Thomas and Archer, because I know Chris likes Archer now.
Dylan Thomas is that?
Who's that?
That's Dylan Thomas.
Yeah, he plays right back.
Only a bit of weight, isn't he?
Anyway, let me finish my bench, Dave.
Sorry, mate.
I've got what's that bloke's name? King Badoo.
King.
And that Richards Everson on the bench, and then Knowles and Horton. I've only got 6 bench players.
I only had 3.
Dave's only got 3, I think.
Yeah.
So if you want, I think I still got space for Hutchinson.
There you go. Pop him in.
That's what you want, Sean, is what, it's your team.
All right, I'll keep him out of it then.
I want to hear the scores on the doors. That's what I want.
So so exactly. I went stronger for I went with more Cheltenham defenders because just to keep Chris happy.
Standard, mate. Standard clean sheets.
And then I tried to sort of go with more Forest Green and Gloucester attackers because we scored a lot more goals.
Score more goals?
Not enough.
That was the thinking behind my team. And I do apologise to Hutchinson. I completely forgot about him.
So Dylan Thomas says thank you for his unexpected inclusion.
Dave, you just hang fire there, mate.
Dylan Thomas of Billericay is there over the moon.
Right. You've literally sent me or Dylan Thomas.
Oh, yeah.
So that's not my fault for getting his name wrong. I asked you who played right back. You told me Dylan Thomas.
So the Gloucester City fan giving the name of one of his players has said Dylan Thomas.
I mean, Chris is Kyle Norton or whatever it was. You can sort of get away with that because it was a different team. You've got your own player wrong.
Trying to say it.
Right. So what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to do it off air, but we would talk amongst ourselves, and we would agree on an 11, and what we do on next week's pod, we will put that 11 out who we've agreed on, because otherwise we could be talking for 15, 20 minutes just trying to decide an 11. So we'll do it off air. We'll put it out on next week's pod who we think the half a season 11 is, with December.
Let me guess, Dan. I've got to make a graphic, yeah?
You can make a graphic, Chris. You love a graphic.
Thought that would happen.
Just get the names right, please, Chris.
Nope.
Yeah. So we'll put that out next week, and we're also gonna put our half a season manager as well. We'll agree on that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go on to scores on the doors.
God for that.
Over to you, Sean.
Next up is Talk of the County's Prediction League and scores on the doors by Sean Baker.
So yeah, Cheltenham and Swindon, we all predicted Swindon win. Well, Dan, you had a draw, 1-1, so we didn't get any points for that. Cheltenham v Harrogate, we all went for a Cheltenham win, apart from Dave, who actually went for a draw, 1-1.
Not only in any draw, but a 1-1 draw.
And then FGR v Western, we all got a point, apart from Dave, who went for a Western win. And then Worthing v Gloucester, Dave again went for a 1-1. And we all went for a Worthing win. So Dave's picked up 4 points and we all picked up a point.
And what's the league table looking at?
In alphabetical order, Dan, you're on 32. I'm also on 32. If it gets to the end of the season, we might have to go by surnames, just so I go above you.
Anything to get top of the league, ain't sure.
I'll be top by
Dave's
then.
on 28 and Chris is on 24. So he's slowly, Chris is turned into Bristol Rovers.
You bottom of the league, Chris.
I can't hear you over the laughing, Dan. Sorry.
Sorry, Craig, can you all calm down in the back there? Chris, are you bottom of the league?
I am, mate. Yeah. I don't mind.
Long way to go, mate. It's a long way to go.
A long way to go.
A marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly that. Right, let's go on to next week's games. Thanks, Sean. Cheltenham versus Barrow, which is next Friday, which is on my wedding day, so unfortunately I can't go. Cheltenham head-to-head 6, Barrow 3, Cheltenham 3, no draws. Last time out, 2-1 defeat at Olker Street. Cheltenham took the lead in that one. And a 3-2 win at Wadden Road, where Cheltenham were 2-0 down and come back to win 3-2. Chris, how do you see the game going, and what's your prediction?
I think it'll be a tough game, I've got to be honest. But I can see us running out solid 2-0 winners.
Okie dokie. Dave?
I'm going to go Cheltenham 2-1, I think.
Sean?
Hang on, just trying to jot this down. What did you say, Dave?
Actually, I've just realised Barrow at home. I'm going to go 1-1. I'm changing it, 1-1.
I don't know, Barrows. I haven't really seen their thing. I'm going to go with Dave and go 1-1.
How am I supposed to catch you if you copy me?
Chris?
I've already done mine.
It's mine, isn't it? I was actually going to go 1-1. I don't know whether to change and go 1-0 now. I'm going to go 1-0 away, smash and grab. Brilliant. Right, on to Forest Green. So Forest Green go down to Somerset on Saturday. They've played Yeovil head-to-head 10 times. Yeovil have won 2, Forest Green 6, and 2 draws. Last time out, it was a 2-0 Forest Green win at the New Lawn. That was back in August. And 1-1 at Hewish Park in April. Sean, prediction?
I'm going to go 3-1 Forest Green.
3-1 Forest Green. Chris?
I'm also going to go 3-1 Forest Green.
Dave?
I'm going 1-1.
I'm going to go 2-1 Forest Green.
Actually, I'm going to go 3-0.
You can't change it now after you've gone listen to everybody.
I'm confident we're going to get a clean sheet after Western.
Jot that down, Chris. Jot that down.
What did you say,
Bookmarked.
Say again, mate.
What did you say, 2-1?
2-1 Forest Green. Then Gloucester City, they're away at Tiverton. Head-to-head 4. This is on Tuesday night, by the way. Head-to-head 4. Tiverton won, Gloucester City have won 3, and there's been no draws. Last time out, back in March, Gloucester won 3-1 at home, and Gloucester had a 1-0 away win. Your predictions, Dave?
Tiverton are bottom of the table. They've picked up 2 points from the possible last 36 and haven't won since the 6th of September.
They got smashed 5-0 yesterday by Farnham, didn't they?
They did. So that everything points towards me thinking we'll probably a draw or lose. But I'm going to go with a 1-0 City victory.
Chris?
4-0.
I was going to go with. Sean?
I'll go 3-0.
I'm going to go 4-1. 4-1 Gloucester. And then next Saturday, Gloucester City are at home to Hungerford. Head-to-head 10. Gloucester have won 5. Hungerford have won 2, and there's been 3 draws. The last time out was Gloucester won 2-1, a 2-1 win away. And before that was a 1-0 loss away. So the last 2 games have both been away from home. Dave, your thoughts?
They're in terrible form. They became a little bit of a bogey side, but mainly away. Confident at home. I think we'll do them 3-0.
Sean?
I'll go 2-1 Gloucester.
Chris?
3-1.
I'm going to go with a 2-0 Gloucester. So that is the prediction league. Before we go, we did run a competition a couple of months ago. We've done the Gloucester City one, we've done the Cheltenham Town one, and today was the Forest Green one for the match-worn Nick Holton shirt. And what we're going to do is I'm going to do the draw live on air, and we'll post the winner out. So thanks for everybody who's took part, and good luck. Have you got anything do you want to say to Forest Green for and Nick Holton for giving a shirt?
I really appreciate the support. Thanks to Nick Horton as well for helping get that sorted. Good luck to everyone, really.
Right. Brilliant.
Here we go.
Here we go.
The excitement. No, can't read that at all.
The winner of the shirt is Jakey Boys. Do you know who that is, Sean?
That is Jake Wyman, yeah.
So congratulations to Jake Wyman.
Well done, Jake.
We'll put this out onto our socials and just get in contact with Sean and arrange the collection of your shirt. Brilliant. That's a good place to leave it, guys. So on a day where Forest Green avoid having a supermare, City more than worth of the win, and Cheltenham paid a penalty and settled for a point. Follow us on X, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, and we'll see you next time.